Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to another Masters of Brickjitzu live stream. Tonight we are going to be covering Dragons Rising Season 2 Part 1. Joining me is my co-host Kyle. Hi, Kyle.
Hello,
Welcome.
Logan. Thanks for
Uh,
having me.
Ninja Whip, he's here. He's hanging out, doing his thing.
Howdy, howdy.
And of course, we have My Brick Opinions of the My Brick Opinions fame.
Hey, I have big opinions, guys.
He has a lot of opinions.
Wow.
We are going to jump through this episode by episode, starting with episode number 1. I think that's fair. We don't want to really start later and go back, jump around, non-linear. That'd be interesting.
Exactly.
We could try that, but don't think it would work well. But saying that, let's go ahead and jump into episode 1. So it's been a year. The mech shorts have happened. Which is really funny. I think that the mech shorts are the second most important branch of shorts that Ninjago's ever done, after like the battle between brothers and pilot shorts, because these introduced the elemental mechs and they actually carry through the whole season. I think that's interesting. How do you guys feel about the elemental mechs? I know Ace has a few opinions on them.
I like them. I like them a lot.
I think that
love
they're
them.
good. As we'll talk about later as we get further into this. A few of them are very breakable, and that's just because they have the ability to swap pieces. But at the end of the day, it's a design flaw because they're constantly falling apart. But we start out.
Sora
Yeah,
did just make them on the fly though.
she did make them on the fly, but she's had at least a few weeks to fix them. She's not done that yet. She's moved on to a new project. So we have the elemental hooks, and I like the elemental hooks. I don't know how you guys feel about those.
I love them.
They're really
like
cool.
them. They're
Being able
great.
to use the elemental energy, which is kind of cool for Sora because one interesting thing we find out is that Sora's powers don't really work for offense. They're more for like creating stuff to use on the offensive. She can't really work if she's out in nature. Her powers are kind of worthless. Which is
Right.
good. I'm glad that they didn't just make her overpowered. We kind of pick up with Aaron. He's struggling in every fight that he's in, and that carries through the whole season. I don't think he won many fights this season. How
He
do you
did
guys
one.
feel? Yeah, he won a couple, but
He won. We'll get into it later. I liked Aaron's struggle in the season. I thought
I enjoyed that.
'cause you can't really especially because technically Aaron and Sora are now our protagonists. So I really liked how the writers made it clear. No, the ninjas are compared. They're in a different tier than Aaron. And I even
Right.
later on, it's very obvious. No, the ninjas, these guys have been training for years at this point, and Aaron is just he barely can do spinjitzu. And so I really like that the ninjas they can power through the wolf
Yeah.
ninjas and
I mean,
Aaron
it's
is
like we
just
said with
struggling to
season
do-
1 when we were talking about season 1. The best part about Dragons Rising is that it lets the ninja stay at a very powerful level to where no fight that they really enter am I worried that anything bad is going to happen to them because they are the strongest people in most fights that they're in. Which
Right.
we don't
Yeah.
get a lot of fights this season, really. We have the big ones in the first couple of episodes and then later on at the back half, but most of it is them training, which is why we have the Cole and Zane subplot. They're the ones that are really getting actual action this season. The rest are on a
Love
spiritual
that,
journey.
by the way.
I
Love
love
that, by
that.
the
I
way.
love that. But before we move over to the back half, let's go ahead and talk about the first couple of episodes. So, the Cloud Kingdom has been invaded by Lord Roz. He was the one that put the curse on the knowledge worms, the bookworms. He
Yep.
has figured out that he has the Gong of Shattering. He needs the hammer to shatter and power up the wolf masks, which is that's quite a convoluted way to power up an army. Just saying, if you have to have masks be worn and then the gong has to have the hammer and the hammer has to hit the gong several times, mind you, before they're powered up. It's a very slow process. But I do enjoy that there's multiple pieces to this
It's a cool
puzzle.
process.
Every
There
time
was an
that
aspect that the show
Yes.
didn't resolve, but I thought was funny that were the wolf masks or were they ghosts?
were they people? Were they ghosts? Yes, this is something that I wanted to talk about too, because there's times later on in the episodes where like Cinder will pull a mask off of like a wolf warrior and use it, and then they just will not show us their face. Like they will not
They
show the
just
face
yeah.
of
I was
whoever
waiting
it
for
is.
that moment where
I
they
keep
show us the
waiting
face.
for
They
it.
don't show
Well, we have the face print in the sets, but we don't know what they look like in the show, and I feel like we're probably not gonna get to see that. But I
even
would
when
like
they
to
take
know
when
where they came from.
I and company take their clothes off, they don't show the what happened to the.
Oh,
to
true, true. That would have been a great opportunity. Um, but speaking of Cinder, he is an elemental master of smoke. He's the new elemental master of smoke. We previously had Ash in season 4, which Kai gets to fight. And once again, it just shows how powerful the ninja are, because before Cinder starts using Shatter Spin, Kai knocks him out, like he rocks him.
Which is
just
awesome. They made.
Which is
reference
awesome.
as
It's
well.
a great
Like,
reference that Kai has fought the previous elemental master of smoke.
and they make that known in the show too, which is like incredible. The fact that they like
Acknowledge
pay
it
attention
and
to
acknowledge
that.
that there's a past.
Right,
They don't tell us
right,
what happened to
right.
Ash. I can just assume maybe old age. Who knows? We don't really know how old Ash
Possibly.
was. Um, it's possible. I canonically would like to think that like he was caught in a fire, just because fire's covered in smoke, and smoke is what got him. Maybe that, or like he caught something. Maybe that, or like how smokers will get worse as they continue to use smoke. I don't know. There's a dark theory there for you. But this did build on something that I was griping about last season, where multiple new elemental masters were popping up, and all of them were just good guys. So I love that we've gotten a new bad guy elemental. That's awesome.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know how you guys feel
I
about
agree with
that.
I would have wanted
agree with
more
that.
actually. I kind of felt like Ross's, like aside from the Wolf Warriors, I felt his team like I would have liked to see more members of Ross's dojo, because that was like I really enjoy the premise of an evil dojo, and I don't know, maybe it's too early to say, because we know we're getting
It's definitely too
the
early,
tournament of,
because he's been talking
we-
about
we're-
how that like he's assembling a team. Like that's been his whole thing. He said that a couple different times. So I don't think this is his final stand yet. And plus, all of the Forbidden Five members are elemental masters, so he's already got a new elemental master, and he has Jordana doing magic, which is kind of interesting. Someone that's based in tech being forced to learn magic. That was fun.
I like
I
that.
don't
Yeah, that was cool.
She was a cool carryover. But obviously, Cloud Kingdom has been attacked. Euphrasia comes. She warns the ninja. She's like, "Hey guys, Cloud Kingdom, it's not good up there." And so Roz is basically, he has kidnapped everyone in the Cloud Kingdom. He's holding them at ransom.
Also, like
Kind of just to translate
quick.
the old text.
old text. Yes. But
Yes.
I
No,
wanted
go
to
ahead.
add that, I wanted to add, I thought it was crazy that, the Wolf Master Warrior just run in and just start beating the Cloud Kingdom people, like the Cloud Kingdom monks,
Oh,
out
yeah.
of nowhere.
They're
Like,
peaceful.
that was
folk.
dark. I liked
Yeah.
it. That was cool.
They're peaceful. Like they can't.
They also,
They're not
like-
meant for fights.
In the back half,
Right.
they also burned them. They also
Oh,
burned
yeah.
the Cloud Kingdom.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
I also like that the Cloud Kingdom
Yeah.
has a motor. Like you can steer the Cloud Kingdom. That's part of Roz's plan,
Yeah.
is to start steering it towards the Shadow Dojo. Which honestly, I have to say this. I know we got the Shadow Dojo as a set this year, but honestly, I think Shadow Dojo should have been delayed, and we could have gotten like a Cloud Kingdom, because it gets more play than the Shadow Dojo does. Like we're
Yeah.
at Cloud Kingdom more.
Yeah,
don't know
but
how you
that's
guys
a
feel about
writer's
that.
thing. I don't really think that's a designer, like a product part.
No, of course
aspect
not.
of
I'm
it.
just saying that they dropped the ball there. You don't want to have something
Maybe one day.
super important.
Maybe
Maybe
one
one
day.
day.
we'll get a Cloud Kingdom.
Maybe one
I
day.
still think the Cloud Kingdom is kind
Hopefully.
of it's in that aspect where it's probably like, if it were to be made into a product, it probably wouldn't make the show's depiction of it justice. But also, like, what I don't know, I don't really think there's a space for it in Ninjago going forward. Especially
So
because
you think the
it's already
Cloud
been
Kingdom's
used.
done
Yeah.
in the show?
I don't think it's coming back. No.
Really? I don't know. I mean,
Especially after the ending.
I think if they wanted to keep the Cloud Kingdom going, which I think they do, just because it's a realm, they wouldn't have let it crash at the end of this season, like they did. Like
Right.
it didn't
That's
crash.
fair.
Like they were able to keep it in the air. So
I think that was more of a giving Euphrasia a moment to like prove herself as an elemental master.
I didn't feel it that way. That's just me though.
Yeah, no, I really enjoy.
She was kind of
'cause
worthless all
we
season.
yeah.
How do you
I
feel
still don't
about it,
know
Kyle?
what's the plan with Euphrasia. Like I don't know what's the vision with her.
Funny.
Is she gonna be trained? Is she just gonna be like a side character that's
I think
pops
she's
in
got to
every
just
once
be
in a while?
side character. Otherwise, they would have let her like escape with the ninja or something.
I don't know.
I don't know.
It's-
Speaking of
I
side
definitely-
characters
she's
that
definitely gonna
they
be
wanna
more in the back
introduce.
half.
Yeah,
Like, I
I don't
definitely
know.
think, like,
I think we'll see.
I
She
think
still
we'll
hasn't
see
gotten her
in
official
the,
robes.
And the tournament
so.
of Source Dragons.
Maybe. So speaking of other characters that we have, Wildfire in our first couple of episodes gets her leg broken, and that's like a consistent thing throughout the season. So she doesn't get to learn Rising Dragon. She doesn't get to learn Spinjitzu. So she stays about the same level that she was last season, but she is more open to being on a team. I don't know how you guys feel about that. She's definitely a controversial character within Ninjago.
I enjoyed Wildfire this season. Last season, I really didn't like her. I also really like
I
that
agree.
they finally made the differentiation between her powers and Kai's. It's not just Kai and Wildfire being both firebenders in a way. It's one is the master of heat and one is the master of fire. Which I personally would have preferred Wildfire be the master of plasma, since that's because plasma is blue. But I'll take heat.
Yeah.
We lost.
Yeah.
We lost. We lost.
Yeah.
So obviously the ninja are Go
Yes.
for it, Kyle.
Oh, sure.
How do you feel?
No, I mean, I like Wildfire. I liked Wildfire in season 1, and I like Wildfire now as well. I think she's got a great balance between being like I don't know, kind of like a serious character, but also very much the comedic relief in a lot of moments. So I think they do a good job balancing that. And Wildfire can just be so random at times where it comes out of nowhere, and I'm like, I kind of like that. So I like the character. She's cool.
Yeah. No,
I
agree.
thought it was interesting that we didn't see her Set's outfit, and
I think
I
it'll
don't
be a
think-
back half thing.
You think it's a back half? Because
Yeah, and I'll get to
I
that
don't
when we
know
get to the finale because
to-
I think there's a reason, like an honor
Oh, yeah.
reason.
But no, overall, I enjoyed some of the moments with Wildfire this season, especially more than last season. Last season, I really didn't like the character.
She was tolerable this season because she was open to being a part of a team and she wasn't claiming to be better than everyone. She still isn't super great terms with everyone, but like she has a lot of respect for Kai, and I like that.
The thing is about Wildfire is I don't see the point of the character. Is it to give Kai something to do, or is it to build her up as a main character eventually, like Lloyd, or not Lloyd, like an Aaron or Sora?
Yeah, see, that's kind of what I have felt with Wildfire. Like, and this was kind of shown in the Variety article from a few days ago. You guys can find that for yourself watching at home. Very interesting article. But we are actually told in that article that Wildfire was never meant to be in a set, and that she was kind of just brought into a set after she was written into the show, which, you know, in my eyes makes me think that she was going to be like your Benthamar, your Akita. She was kind of only meant for one season, one and done. And then they just kept, I don't know if it was popular demand or just writer's room liking them, but they kept her going.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was definitely writer's room. Because
I think that's
basing
funny,
off season 1, I don't think they would have let her.
I remember speaking about that in December when the new sets were revealed, that they changed the hairpiece, and I remember theorizing though.
Yeah, that's what I was telling you guys. She wasn't supposed to be. Yeah. She wasn't supposed to be further than season 1.
Yeah. I found that interesting. Definitely.
So
episode.
after the ninja get their butts handed to them by Shatterspin and Roz, they decide that they need to go and find a master. Lloyd's been having visions this season, so they load up on the bounty and they go at it on a chance because the source dragons have given them an inkling of where to go, and they find themselves face to face with two dragons, Rontu and Egot, and those two are going to train them in the Rising Dragon, which is the gimmick set of the season, the Dragon Strike sets.
Yep.
Which is interesting that
Really disappointed we didn't
they
get
did
one for
that.
Lloyd. Really, really, really disappointed we didn't
It
get
is
one for
disappointing
Lloyd.
we didn't get one for Lloyd because he does not Shatter Spin. He does Rising Dragon,
He does
but
Rising.
Aaron doesn't. Aaron
Yeah.
kind of
Right.
fails
I
all
had the
of
same
his
thought.
Dragons
I
Rising.
legit had the same thought. I was so disappointed we didn't get one for Lloyd, especially because
I
the
was so
Dragon
upset.
Rising, even though it is kind of repetitive, because we did see the ninja become or dragon elemental dragons in Crystallized in
Yeah.
a way, and it's very similar in the show. Like show wise, they look kind of similar.
Yes, they have
Just
the
'cause it's
exact
similar.
same look. Um,
But I liked how it felt like, oh, this is an ability not all the ninja are going to learn, and it is going to be just something. Some of the because I kind of like having that diversification.
yeah,
Of
and I mean
abilities.
it's because
Not
they're
all the ninja are
third
able
fang
to do the same thing.
ninjas. You get to become a third fang ninja. We learn
Yeah.
about fangs, and apparently Rontu and Egot are the only ones that can bestow upon the fangs levels for the ninja. Which I think is
Speaking
kind of funny,
Rontu-
just because they came up with that for themselves, like it's their own little club. And they're
Yeah.
like, you get to be a
Yeah.
I
third
mean,
fang ninja now.
they are the only ones that can defeat Shatter Spin, though. So it
They
can't
are,
be
they
said.
are, they are.
I did love Ronsu and Eagle because
Oh,
they were
yeah.
from another realm, and the aspect of they were taught Spinjitzu by the first Spinjitzu master.
Well,
It kinda just-
they were taught Spinjitzu by a line down from the first
Yeah,
Spinjitzu
line down the
master.
first Spinjitzu master.
Rontu mentioned
I
she
really-
learned it from a king.
I
think it's
really
cool.
enjoyed that drag, like Spinjitzu, like because one of the things that I've always criticized, or I used to criticize Lego and Ninjago for, is because Spinjitzu was such a foundational part of Ninjago, and later on in the series, it was just kind of dropped. And that's something I actually kind of liked about Shadow of Ronin, the game, which I have a video where I have a video coming about that. Is that in that game, Spinjitzu is a gimmick, and that's one of the best parts of the game. Is Spinjitzu has always been like for me like the defining factor that makes Ninjago. It's spinning ninjas versus skeletons, right? And so the part like for me, Dragon's Rising making more or having an effort into building out the lore Spinjitzu, because we we've seen it before with like kind of with their Jitsu and stuff, but in the later seasons Spinjitzu just kind of became like the go-to move when you couldn't beat up bad guys. It's just like, oh yeah, these guys are there's too many of these guys. Let's just do Spinjitzu and end the fight. And
Yeah.
I always really like the idea of, oh, we should get like an enemy that can do Spinjitzu, kind of like the original pitch for Ninjago, which was skeletons versus ninjas, and the Spinjitzu and the Skullkin had spinners, and even though they couldn't do Spinjitzu in the show, I always like this idea of, oh yeah, like having enemies that are on the same level of the ninjas in their ability. They're not just grunts to take down. They've also have their own techniques, and I really like that aspect with Shadow Spin, which isn't technically it is. I mean, it's Spinjitzu, but it's not like it doesn't look like from a visual.
There's no
aspect,
spinning
it's-
or really any moving. You kind of just do
No.
the thing, and it's like if you get near me, it seems more defensive really than offensive.
Yeah. But I really enjoyed Shadow Spin because but then that that asks the question, like how do you defend or attack against Shadow Spin? So that that led the ninja to discovering the Rising Dragon, which I mean Dragon, like the Rising Dragon was kind of on the nose for me. I didn't love. I like the power up or the new ability gained. I didn't love it I like the process of learning it, but I didn't love it from a visual aspect because we've kind of seen it before. Like I was saying with the crystallized versions, it just kind
The
of
dragon form, yeah.
yeah, the dragon form. I liked it. I didn't love it because especially because I wanted to see because well, I mean, yeah, Spinjitzu has been done to death, and it's kind of repetitive, and we've seen Burst and Air Jitsu and other forms of Spinjitzu, but I kind of would have liked to seen, um, or I liked seeing the lore of Spinjitzu be expanded upon, but I didn't like how they did the Rising Dragon, like visually, because I like the idea of it. I didn't like how they, because it just feels like the elemental, not the elemental dragon, the dragon forms.
Yeah, I can see where you're coming from, and also like from a toy perspective, I really wish we got a Shatter Spin toy to like be able to like
Yeah, to
fight
make
against
that
the.
like fighting aspect to it. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
that's the
I
main
really
thing
hope
for
we get
me,
something.
because like, where is the play? Where is the Shadow Spin
Yeah.
play? Like, if I'm a
Yeah.
kid playing with my toys, how do I play with the Shadow Spin?
Right,
Um,
right.
but then again, I mean, that's all about
A big deal out of the
imagination.
season, and it's getting a comic book here next month, which is crazy to think about. We're literally getting a Shatter Spin
Shadow Spin.
Garmadon-based comic, which is going to be so cool. I'm really excited for
Yeah,
that. But yeah,
it'll be
no, I
interesting
agree,
to
and
find
I
out
think episode
who came
3
up with
personally
Shatter
was one of
Spin.
the weakest. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
No, but like I was saying, yeah, no, I like the idea of Dragons Rising building upon Spinjitzu, because I got really excited when Ron 2 did Spinjitzu. I was waiting when they said that there were dragons that could do Spinjitzu. I was really excited, and I was just waiting for them to show the dragons doing Spinjitzu, and so that opens the door for Ryu, which makes me even more excited, because I want to see Ryu do.
Yeah. But moving forward,
Yes.
yeah, moving forward, after that, they've been going through these tests, and we're actually reintroduced to Cole this season, as well as the Finders. They're in the land of lost things as the Kingdom shows up, and they actually take off the barrier that keeps people stuck in Cloud Kingdom, which is interesting. Um, and Cole shows back up, and I do think that it was kind of a waste of him running off to go do Spirit Master Wu stuff, and then he didn't really get anything out of that, and it's been a year, so I think he kind of dropped the ball on that one. But how do you guys feel about the Finders being reintroduced?
Kyle?
Yeah. They're cool. Yeah, no, I'm glad they were reintroduced. I mean, I like always seen more of Cole as well. I thought he had like some of the coolest like fights in his mech. I really liked the way that he used that. Trying to think of all the names of the Finders. I can't remember. What are their names?
Spitz,
Bonzel.
Fritz,
Bonzel,
Bonzel, and
Geo.
The
Geo.
one to remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't expect Bonzel to be like
A big
such
character.
a
Yeah.
yeah, such a big character and have so much importance. I like kind of overlooked that character
I like that she
previously,
was
so that was
seeded
definitely
in,
interesting.
yeah, last season.
Yeah,
I don't know. And then she was the
Yeah,
one.
because she was like not important at all last season.
Yeah.
yeah.
Now I really want a Bonzel figure. So, as we learn,
I do think they
Bonzel
kind of
is
shot
the sentient
themselves in the
spell.
foot with the console design. Oh, sorry.
No,
I was
I was
just
going to
say,
explain for the
before we
viewer.
move-
Yeah. Because,
No.
yeah. No, go ahead. Go
Oh
for
yeah.
it.
No, I was just gonna say that they kind of shot themselves with a Bonzo design, because it is like it's kind of a hard figure to make, like a one-to-one design in product form.
Well, that vest design from Dreams now is
Yeah.
make it possible.
That's what we're thinking.
Fair, yeah.
Yeah, so Bonzel is actually a sentient spell that was cast by Gondolaria. Is that how we pronounce it? How are we pronouncing it? It feels
Yep.
like she said it some.
Gondolaria.
Feels like she said it a different way every time, which is a new character this year.
Gondolaria.
Gondolaria, yeah, very odd spelling.
Harry Potter.
I will say I love that Dragons Rising has given us such unique names as Gondolaria, Sora. That's there's more examples. Dorama, Beatrix, Roz, Cinder, Rapton. That's what I'm talking about. I think that's odd. Bonzel, Geo.
Aaron.
But yeah, Aaron. Lloyd. Where'd they come up with that one?
Sora.
Sora. Yeah, no, but Bonzel's a sentient spell. She was used to seal away the Forbidden Five. That's what Roz wants to get back out. So he needs Bonzel, and so Zane and Cole are going on their own quest to find Gondolaria to protect Bonzel. And during that whole encounter, they are kidnapped by Dorama, which, is fun. Nice little callback to season 1. I don't know how you guys felt about seeing Dorama again. I really loved that episode. That was actually one of my favorite fight scenes, was Cole versus the marionette. I know that you guys are
It
split
was
on
alright.
that.
I wasn't huge on it.
I think that was the coolest
Yeah,
fight.
I mean, it was fine standalone episode, but like it just felt like it could have been something cooler in its place. Honestly, I
Really?
don't know. It was just kind of it was kind of filler in my opinion. I mean, it was fine. Like, I mean, I like Dorama as a character. I love all the characters that were in it. I thought it was a fine little episode, but I just wanted something better. I wanted something like with the Shatter Spin stuff, or probably maybe a villain focused episode would have been awesome. It's just I don't know. It was good. It was good, but it could have been better in my opinion.
Yeah.
Honestly.
And that is one thing
I
that
don't
we
like
kind
Dorama
of...
as a character.
Yeah. Really?
Oh, sorry.
He's so much fun.
No, every time he comes up, I just roll my eyes. I don't. I
Really?
genuinely just. He
That's
bores me.
disappointing.
Like yeah, and so every time I'm just like, oh, it's like, I'm like, it's like, I don't want to compare it, but like, there's some shows that have annoying side villains that they're not really like threats, but every time they show up, I'm kind of excited to just see them again. Dorama is not that. Like every time he just pops in, I'm like, this guy again. Like, it's not like even like I would have preferred to see someone like the Mechanic or Misdemeanor be back in. Like, I really do not like
Mechanic's
Dorama.
awesome.
I would have preferred actually to see because it just felt like they needed a character to fill in that. They had the story planned out, and they just knew they need a character to fill in this role. They were like, oh, who can we use to be like this event where we need the ninja to be, or we need Cole and Zane to be at this. They can't get to this place before this episode. So how do we hold them back for an episode? We got Dorama. Let's bring back his mech, and let's have the Cole bring out his elemental mech so Cole can fight. It just kind of felt like it was filler. Like they needed something to hold back Cole and Zane before they can get to I forgot the witch's name. But yeah.
Gondolaria.
The thing about
Gandalf.
her name is it sounds way too much as a sickness, and I don't want to confuse it with a sickness.
Yeah, no, that's disappointing
like
to hear,
Dorama.
Ace. I really, really liked that episode. We like Dorama. He's fun.
Yeah, I like Dorama. He's so like goofy. He just perfectly encapsulates that like one-off Ninjago villain who you don't take seriously, and it gives a moment for some other characters to have some more time to shine. I like Cole in that episode. He was cool.
He was really cool. He was doing
and
some
I love
cool
that
stuff.
marionette design.
The marionette is awesome.
So cool. It's very like kind of creepy as well, like sometimes, especially when it was first introduced in that first season. Like I felt like it was really creepy because it was more of like on the stage, and it was like darker lighting. And this one, it's a little bit less so because they're just in the middle of like nowhere.
Desert. I love that he built an amphitheater in the middle of the desert. That's what I like, is that he took the time to do that.
I know. Like, who's
Oh,
gonna
he
go
found
there?
it there. Didn't he say he found it there? Like just at random, he just found it there.
I don't think he said that.
Or did he actually build?
I think he
Oh,
built
I
it.
thought he said that. Weird.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's cool though.
Might have to
Yeah.
watch. I don't know.
And Chris did actually a great mock on the channel.
Yes, he's done a great mock of the marionette. You guys have to check that out after listening to us talk for another half hour. So while all this is happening, while Cole, Bonzel, and Zane are on a quest to find Gondolaria, the rest of the ninja are learning Rising Dragon. And honestly, I think if you break it down, Cole and Zane's subplot is where the action's coming from to keep you engaged, and then the rest of the ninja learning Rising Dragon is kind of slow. Like they don't really do a lot. There's a lot of like individual character moments, But when you really look back at it, like Sora didn't learn Spinjitzu, Ryu didn't learn Spinjitzu, Aaron didn't learn Rising Dragon. They didn't accomplish a lot. Um, so it begs the question of like,
True.
what was the point? Because after all of these episodes, um, Rontu and Egalt returned to Stone when the Blood Moon showed up.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and the ninja left. They didn't know if that was going to be undone. Do you think that they went back and checked after the Blood Moon was over? Like, they're not going to finish that
I
training.
doubt it.
They might just think that Egalt and Rontu are dead, and they're just never going to go back to check.
Would be
And I
cool if
find that
Eagle
very
and
interesting.
Rontu show back up in the
It
second
would be
half.
very interesting if
would
they
love
showed
that.
back up. But
Great characters. Absolutely love them.
I don't think that they're going to go back and finish their training, which is disappointing because,
Yeah.
they didn't really accomplish anything. So,
Right.
I don't know how you guys feel about that, but I don't
Yeah,
know.
it's interesting because I mean, yeah, I don't know if they would really return. I mean, I guess Kai got something out of it because he learned it right there.
It's true.
with
It's
the help
true.
of
He was
Mia.
given the rank of Third Fang.
Yeah, but Nia and
Exactly.
Lloyd eventually.
Well, they
like,
figured it
realized
out,
that,
but they
oh,
weren't given the rank. Because the dragons are the only ones that
So
can get the
true.
rank.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Well, they cheated.
they cheated.
True.
I definitely think we're gonna see them back because someone has to train the ninja for the tournament. That's my thing. That's my take.
I don't know.
That would be cool. That would be cool.
Especially if maybe we see Rontu in the Somersets, because I kind of think we're gonna like she has to come in a set sooner rather than later because she's I don't know I just think she has to come.
Maybe.
I was thinking about this. How you guys feel Egalt was originally planned to be a villain in the sets? Because I always saw his design as as kind of a sinister dragon, but then you see it in the show and he's like, I mean, it makes sense why he
I
looks kind
never
of
saw it
sinister.
that way.
Yeah. Made me there on that one.
Sorry.
I thought he was Woo as a
yeah,
dragon.
we all thought he was Wu as a dragon.
The beard.
Had the beard.
Real.
It was
I like
weird.
the Eagle though. His personality was
Yeah.
like just good
Interesting.
like growth for him by the end. I
I
really
like that he
loved
had
the
an
scene
arc.
with him
Yeah.
and Wildfire.
Oh, that was such a great
That
one.
was really nice.
Yeah, that was a good one.
I thought that
Talking
was a
about
great
the
moment. And I
wasting.
like that Aaron
Yeah.
yeah, and I like that Aaron beat Egalt. That was the fight he won.
Yeah.
He,
Beat him in
when
the
he
eye.
unintentionally annihilates him. Exactly.
That's
It was
great.
fantastic.
That was very
One of
kind
my
of Aaron
favorite
to do that. He definitely set the
It was a
ninja for
very
success. But
Rip
yeah,
Eagle,
speaking
Rip
of the
Eagle.
dragons, that's one thing that I want to point out. Heatwave did nothing this season. Xanth, we didn't see Xanth this season. So like dragons
True.
from
True.
previous seasons, like I've always had this mentality where if it's not on the shelves, it's not in the show. There's a couple of exceptions, like the Monastery Spinjitzu, and then sometimes the Destiny's Bounty, but I don't know, I think Jiro will probably be out in the back half. I don't know how Jiro made it into season
I'm
2.
super happy that he did, though. It was
I'm
cool to
super
see him
happy that he
again.
did. Jiro is the definition of blood thinks he's on the team, and I love that. Because Jiro is like, he's working on a whole nother level. The rest of the dragons will like growl and bark and like do stuff, but they'll be like, hey Jiro, protect the people, and Jiro will like go and pick everyone up and leave. Like, dude is
Real.
he's working on a whole, he's very sentient and smart, and I love that. I think Jiro. I love Jiro. Love the set. Love him as a character. He's always got angry eyes.
Yeah, he does.
If any dragon
He's ready
could
to
talk,
fight.
it should be Jiro. But we were introduced to the wasting, the concept of the wasting, which is a dragon illness. There's no cure, and the best that I can kind of figure it is like a dragon version of arthritis. I don't know how you guys feel about the wasting.
I think it's more like the I don't know if you guys know about the deer, like how the wasting disease for deer.
True. It is
How they
kind
just
of
kind
like
of waste
that.
away. Kind of reminds me of that, honestly.
That's a better example. Yeah.
I think it's set up for something. I think it's kind of because I definitely think Eagle and Rontu coming back.
I
And I think
think
it's setting up for Eagle's demise.
yeah, I was gonna say the wasting seems like it's an easy way to explain why dragons aren't in the show anymore. Like whenever we lose one, so like, you know, Wildfire's biggest fear when they were in that cave was the wasting. Chances are there's a reason she has that fear. So who knows? Maybe Heatwave has the wasting, and that's why we will stop seeing Heatwave at a certain point. Um, I
Oh,
think
that'd
that's
be
Yeah.
super.
like just if I think it's fair to assume from now on, like unless a dragon like visibly leaves the show, if it just disappears and we don't know what happened to it, we can just assume that it's the wasting, and that's just what we can assume, I guess, which is horrible to think about, but I don't know.
I like to think of it more as to make a comparison to another series like Pokemon. Whenever they move on to a new season, Ash just leaves all of his Pokemon and gets new ones. And I
Yeah.
think of it like that for Ninjago. They just send them off to a farm somewhere. And
Yeah,
it's like, you can just live here until we need you
Dragon
again.
Farm.
yeah, because I mean, like
Exactly.
at the
We'll bring
beginning
you
of
back.
beginning of season 2 part 1 or season 1 part 2, you know, they had all the different dragons living down there in the base, and then like this season we've only seen 2 dragons down there. What happened to the dragons? I think that's a very
It was the
I don't
animation
know.
budget.
They went on holiday.
They went on holiday. They all went to I don't know, where'd they go. They went to Baskin Robbins.
Canada.
We'll go with that. Yeah,
Yeah, they went to another realm.
they went to another realm. They flew 3 miles away to another realm. Hmm. I do, yeah, but I think that's interesting. Just that I don't know. I don't know which dragons we'll have when we get to the back half of this season. Um,
Ryu,
Ryu will probably still be around. I think Ryu is going to be one of the exceptions.
hopefully.
Hopefully.
Uh,
It's just like it picks up
I'm
in the
actually-
back half, and it's just like, yeah, Ryu got the wasting. He's gone. It was very sad. We
Dang.
had a memorial.
He was too old.
He was too old.
I was actually speaking of the wasting. Something just popped in my head because Sora mentions Ryu being a teen dragon now, so maybe
Yeah.
dragons age differently.
Well, we know from
True.
the first season of Ninjago that it can literally only take a few weeks for a dragon to reach certain ages, because you know the original pilot, you know, 4 dragons, they were able to become the Ultra Dragon over the course of a few weeks. So, and that was their version of full maturity. So, it does not take long for age gaps. I think Sora was probably just assuming, based off of behavior and height and size, that teen.
I mean, I hope
Yeah,
Ryu grows again because I don't like the design. I really don't like the
I
design.
like the design.
Of,
It grew
Teen
on me.
Ryu.
It's alright.
It's alright. I like that he flied though. Like he can fly at the end.
Yeah, he can fly now.
That
That
was,
was that was the big mid-season cliffhanger. Ryu can fly now.
Ryu
I
can
think
fly.
he'll
Yep.
still be young teen Ryu for the rest of this season, and then when we get to season 3, he'll be a larger dragon. Because I think we'll probably just start getting like a new dragon Ryu every year. I don't know. That's my theory. Maybe the next one will be like a $40
maybe
or
maybe we'll
$50
see it
dragon.
like grow up,
and then
grow in,
yeah.
in price point as well. So like this year we got.
Oh
the
yeah,
$20
he's definitely going to grow in price point. Yeah. I'm
Next
thinking the
year we
next
gotta
one's
get
probably
the-
50, probably like EGALT
No,
size.
I'd hope 40 or 30. I don't want to try to get that big. I think 50 or
Mm.
60 is maybe for year 4, and then 150 or $100 is the year 5.
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe so. But we did have, you know, another special cameo from Jay the Lightning Ninja this season, Agent
We
Jay
did.
Walker. He shows up in the basement of the Mysterium Monastery, which we'll talk about in just a second. We'll start with Jay. First of all, what was he doing down there with no backup? Like, he was just the only guy. He was like, guys, I think there's a basement. I'm just going to tunnel my way in. Like, how did he get there? That's what
Maybe
I
it was
want
his
to know.
subconscious.
His
Like,
subconscious,
leading him
maybe.
down there, since it's like he's seen the monastery before.
Maybe.
Obviously, he knows like the monastery.
I'm
Of course, he's
curious
lost the memory,
where
so
he
maybe it
got
was just
in,
something
though.
in his mind.
Like, that's just from like a real standpoint. Where did
Well,
he
they
get
have
into the
portals. They
basement?
have like portals, so they can just like
True. I didn't think
pop
about
in
yeah.
whenever.
I can believe
Which I think
that.
is a little OP.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about the portal stuff. I think that's a little. I don't know.
Well,
They
Brady,
can just
you gotta
jump
fill
out.
out a lot of paperwork before you can use it. It's a very slow process, you know.
That's fair. But the ones that can use it though.
True, true. No, I'm saying like the administration's the kind of place that like you'd have to fill out a form every time you shoot it. Like you're
Oh
like,
yeah.
yep, I want to go to the Cloud Kingdom. All right, here's 3 pages. I'm gonna need a signature here, a signature here, last 4 digits to your social here. You know.
I really
Right.
liked
Yeah.
the
Valid.
administration in season one. I didn't like what they did with the administration in season two.
I
Like I
think
didn't
they're
like.
just they gave us the administration in season 2 to like keep it in our minds of what's going to
Mm.
happen with them going down the road. 'Cause like they're going to be important eventually. We just don't know when. And so it's just making sure to remind people, yep, Jay's still there, stuff's still happening with the administration. We'll deal with it eventually. Whether that be in the back half of this season, which honestly might not happen. They might just wait until season 3. Um, but it's disappointing, you know, because Jay's still there, and I miss him.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. That's fair.
So Cole and Zane and Gondolaria come up with a plan. Their plan is that they're going to take Bonzel and they're going to shove her in like a shoebox, like a small box, and that's going to keep her safe. I had a different idea. So the blood moon ritual was happening in the wilderness. They got there and they're like, man, this is where it's happening. We should definitely continue with this plan and do it here. We should put her in a strange box here. Like that was, I don't know, that was kind of dumb of them to decide, uh, just because they were very close. I don't know why. I don't know. We didn't see a realm gate at the monastery of Mysterium, but you know they could have used that. Went all the way back to Ninjago with, I don't know. I think there was better options of what to do.
Yeah, that's fair. That's
I,
fair.
I just I didn't like that whole subplot. Like I found myself being bored
I
whenever.
think
Like I liked what they did with Bonzo. I didn't like Gondolaria. I didn't
really
like I would just fast forward through those whole
that's disappointing.
especially when they were in the magic warehouse thingy. And then you get Big Zan. And I was like, I want to see what's going on in that part.
Hmm. Yeah, no, I
Yeah.
think that was my favorite part of the season, honestly. Because the other one, like I said, they weren't doing anything. At least Cole and Zane were progressing to different areas, showing new things, accomplishing tasks. The rest were kind of just stale. I don't know. So I don't know. In my opinion, I politely disagree with that that sentiment. I don't know. How do you feel about it,
Yeah,
Kyle?
I liked
Which
it.
subplot was your favorite?
Oh gosh. So hard to choose. I mean, honestly, I didn't mind like just the balance between both of them.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I really have too much of a preference. I really like as I said earlier, like the fight stuff with Cole, and I thought his mech was cool. But I also did like the stuff with the other team. Like I
Yeah.
like the stuff with Wildfire. I thought the training with Egolt and Ron 2 was cool. But yeah, no, I mean it was all fun. I don't think I have a preference.
I think they did a good balance between the two teams. Like, it didn't feel
Yeah,
like you were
but
gone too long from one to the other, which was good. Because that happened in
exactly.
other seasons before, like whenever we've had split teams, especially like back half of Crystallized when they were scattered across the town. That was hard to follow because you were jumping to the same points in time, backward, back forth, all over the place. It's still enjoyable, but yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
How'd you feel about it,
yeah.
Braden? Which was your favorite subplot? Or just plot?
I honestly, man, it's hard to choose. I really enjoyed the training, but the training kind of dragged, and I really think I ended up loving Cole and Zane's subplot a bit more. Honestly, I liked
Yeah.
the whole, just like all the craziness. Like I just like how there's so much in play for Dragons Rising, and yet we, thanks to the writers on Twitter, obviously we know that everything's gonna get explained at some point. And so I really like that. We got a lot of things to think about. Some things we might have missed that can come later. I love the fact they explained that Roz cursed the worms, in the earlier episodes of the season. But uh, like we still don't know a lot about the monasteries, like the different monasteries and things like that. I think that's really interesting the way that they're playing on that.
Yeah.
And then, but yeah, I think mainly I enjoyed the Cole and Zane one a bit more. But then when everyone met up in the end, Zane and Cole were in Cloud Kingdom. I didn't really enjoy that as much as
Yeah,
obviously
that didn't make.
Blood Moon
Yeah,
battle.
I don't know. I think they should have
I wish
focused
they were
more on
all
like,
there for the Blood
yeah,
Moon battle.
they should have like
Yeah,
saved the Cloud Kingdom people, just like not even worry about the building, um, and then
right.
just kind of went on because there was no reason to save Cloud Kingdom, I guess. I mean, they have all the ancient texts, so I guess you could argue that. So maybe that's why.
Yeah,
But
that's fair. That's
I
fair.
don't know. I agree with you. um, yeah, so the blood moon starts to happen. Jordana is able to steal Bonzel away from Gondolaria, and then Aaron's able to steal Bonzel away from Jordana, and that's when we get Aaron's dune buggy, which was the most. Well, I wouldn't say it's the most shoehorned in. We've had sets be shoehorned in worse before, like Kai's Katana V11 in Sons of Garmadon. That was
Yeah, but I
very
like its
shoehorned,
inclusion though.
but
I was happy that they included it at least. You know what I
it
mean?
would
Like
have
it was cool
been
to see it, and
it was cool to see it, but it would have been better if like whenever the ninja first get to the jungle or whatever, like to the wilderness, like you saw wolf warriors driving a couple more of them like around. So like
yeah,
Yeah.
but also like
I
also
don't know.
one thing that when I was thinking while watching it was like something that kind of bothered me, and this is such a dumb little nitpick, but like I just don't understand. Like, okay, they showed off the sort of the hook thing, and I thought that was cool, but like it's weird. It's kind of weird that Kai's hooks look very similar, and Kai's vehicle also does something very similar. I just thought that was weird because like if it's a villain vehicle, then why would they knock off and how would they
Oh,
know? Like
true.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I was thinking
design
too
Well,
hard
wise.
about it. I
well,
was
that
Well,
thinking
they
too
made
hard
it
about it.
for Aaron. That's why they made it
yeah,
for him. They were ready for Aaron to show up and take it from
That's
them.
fair.
yeah,
No, I agree though. Yeah, trying to shoehorn in hero sets as like repossessed
as well.
villain
Yeah,
vehicles is not great all the time, but like there's no great way
But then I
in
guess
the
you could argue
show.
like
Yeah,
yeah, but I
there's
guess
no
you could
good way
argue
in the
maybe
show.
Jordana was the one that did it, and like she was from Imperium, and that claw design was from Imperium, and Sora made the mechs, and that claw design
Oh,
she was
true, true.
familiar
You
with
could
from
look at it
Imperium.
that. Yeah.
You wouldn't want to get crazy with it, but
No, I
yeah,
mean you could get no. That kind of makes sense because Jordana was watching, the ninja throughout the season, with
right.
the crystal ball. Maybe she saw that Sora made this and was like, "Well, I can do that too," because they have their everlasting feud.
Yeah, that's true.
Um,
That's
so
true.
yeah,
I
no, no,
love
that
that
makes
running
sense. That
joke
works
that
for
nobody
me.
knows who Jordana is. That was the every time that joke came up, I laughed.
I like that
Uh,
throughout the season, it's not just Jordana, but since we have so many characters like interacting, like there's so many characters that like no one really knows who anyone is. Cause like when Cole and Zane get trapped in the desert, they're like Dorama's like, I found you. This is great. You're not the ninja I wanted to kill, but I'll do it anyway. And they're like, Cole's like, who is this guy?
Yeah,
I don't know who this is. Or like later on, Bonzel, when Bonzel and Aaron meet, Bonzel's just like, I don't know who you are. You look like a ninja. That's good enough for me. Like,
yeah,
no one
that was
really
cool
knows
details.
anyone. I think it's kind of funny, just that everyone's kind of just winging it. And I also find it interesting that like, at no point during the season do Cole and Zane communicate with the rest of the ninja. I don't know if that's a great thing. I think if they all would have like communicated a little better, like they could have figured out more of the problems quicker, which would have ruined the sense of disbelief and such. Uh, but I do
Right.
find it just interesting how they all kind of ended up in the same area by the end. That was cool. I don't know.
Yeah. No,
Yeah,
absolutely, absolutely. I agree.
But
same.
yeah, so the blood moon ritual starts. Roz's plan is that he's going to throw some Cloud Kingdom monks into the portal, dooming them to
Should have
nether
happened.
space, and that they would take the place of one of the members of the Forbidden Five each. So 5 Cloud monks for 5 members of the Forbidden Five, and the only reason that Roz can do it or has to have them as sacrifices is because he has to have an unshattered soul. Unshattered souls. So technically, when someone's wearing the wolf mask and the gong is hit and the eyes glow up, that shatters every part that's good in that person. And so they have a shattered soul then, and they won't work for the ritual, which is why they have to have an unshattered soul. Saying that, I find it interesting that Kai, Sora, and Wildfire, snuck into the ritual wearing the masks, and the gong was hit, the eyes lit up. Technically, Kai, Wildfire, and Sora should have shattered souls, right? So Kai shouldn't have been able to be used for
Yeah.
the ritual. Maybe it's something that takes time. I just think it's like a funny thing to point out to be like,
Yeah, I mean, but like you said earlier, and
yeah,
I'm just again more craziness. You said it took time for them to get
it could
powered
take
up.
time.
It
Yeah,
honestly might be that,
multiple hits on the gong. Yeah, I don't
Right,
know.
right.
Um, One thing that did we say it while we were live that the we don't know what the faces of the Wolf Warriors look like? That's kind of odd.
No, I don't think we did.
No, I think we
Um,
said that off.
yeah. So that's something that Ace was bringing up. Like they've yet to show us what their faces look like. We know what they look like because of the minifigures, but in the context of the show,
Yeah.
they're not letting us know, which is interesting. But Kai is thrust into the portal. And he is now in Nether space, trapped, and we get to see a Forbidden Five member come out, which is pretty cool. Pretty cool. We got
Knocked.
yes, knocked, and he's an elemental master. We don't know what element he has, do we? Was that said? or
No, we
shown?
don't.
I didn't think so.
Was I the
No
only one who
idea.
thought he looked like a keeper?
I thought he looked like an Oni kind of.
Yeah,
But
I was
with this
thinking
blue,
like
I wonder if he's like, I wonder if the Forbidden Five like have like the elements of creation. Like, I wonder if this guy has like a dark version of lightning, which would be so cool.
I
So
think that
cool.
would be interesting.
Right.
Yeah, I kind of
he's
was
kinda
wondering
blue.
since if it was Forbidden Six, then I would really like wonder if it was going to be like everyone has a dark version of the ninja's powers. But since it's like 5,
Mhm.
I don't know. Maybe Nia will get cut out, or maybe Jay will get cut out because he's not on the team right now, and it's just going to be a coincidence that they don't have a lightning guy. Um,
Yeah.
we have a chat. Someone thought that he looked like an ice warrior. I could kind of see that with the hat. I personally thought that he kind of had the vibe of a stone warrior.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could
Yeah,
definitely
he
see the
kinda did.
Oni.
Yeah, he
I
kinda
could see the Oni influence.
Yeah, I thought he was an Oni. I got really excited because I really want more Oni.
I mean, he
stuff
could be
personally,
Oni,
So I was
yeah.
really excited. I
He
really
could
hope
be
so.
Oni.
I really do.
Yeah.
I just want cool bad guys. That's the thing. I just want just
Oh,
give me
he is a
keep
pretty
on
cool
giving me
guy.
cool bad guys. I'll keep
So
on buying.
we during the season, sometimes people are thinking like we're kind of led to believe that the Furious Five, not Furious Five, that's Kung Fu Panda, the Forbidden Five,
Furious
we're kind of led to believe that they are
What you
that
did
they're
there.
the ones, yeah, they're the ones that are Roz's masters, which is not true. That's kind of something that some people were thinking were that this was Roz's master on the other side of the portal. They're not. Noct comes out, and then Roz says, "Hey, you were just a part of my plan. I'm gonna suicide squad you," and he puts like a little button on the back of his head to make sure he behaves. So I don't know how you guys feel about that. We have a couple theories on who Roz's master is. Who do you guys think Roz's master is? Let's kind of talk about that.
I mean, I think
Woo.
it's pretty obvious. It's the Source Dragon.
I was gonna say.
I think it's
woo.
very obvious that it's a Source Dragon. I think it's very obvious that it's a Source Dragon, and that's just because, the way that the army teleports away is the same that the Source Dragon teleported away in Season 1. Like, Roz is definitely a conduit, the same way that Lloyd is a conduit. The eyes glow.
Yeah.
If I had to be
Forbidden
specific...
Five versus
Yeah.
Five Ninja and Lloyd versus Roz. Perfect.
Yeah. If I had to be specific, I would say that Roz's master is the red Source Dragon, just because the red Source Dragon kept popping up a lot in Lloyd's visions anytime that he was flashing. That one, like that symbol specifically, would be the one that would glow. And then also, and this is just something that not a lot of people have pointed out, every season of Dragon's Rising so far, so both seasons, the title credit, so like the way that Dragon Rising disappears, actually coordinates to a Source Dragon. So in Season 1, we had like the lightning sparks, and that was the Source Dragon that was captured by Imperium. It was the one that was important that season. Season 2, we're having a fire blast, and we've been seeing the Source Dragon of Fire symbol. And we know that it's not the actual elements, but like technically color association, that's how we're kind of
Right.
talking about it, just for clarity's sake for now. But the red Source Dragon, that's same kind of energy and vibe that's blasting the season 2 intro as well as the mech shorts. So I don't know. How do you guys feel about that? I think the red one might have importance for back half of season 2 or something like that. And just when you look at it as all together, the title of the show is Ninjago Dragons Rising. What if it's a double meaning of like there's a bad dragon rising? Because we've not seen a bad dragon yet either. Last season we were talking about not seeing bad elemental masters. Now we haven't really seen any bad dragons, and I think that'd be interesting to see again. When was the last time we had a bad
Very
dragon? Griefbringer,
Mech
but
Dragon?
yeah, he was undead.
Oh, Griefbringer, yeah.
We've had an evil one somewhere.
I mean, well, the Mech Dragon.
Yeah, Griefbringer, Mech Dragon.
Griefbringer, mech dragon. I know, but one that's like not tempered by evil. Interesting.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Earth
we've not really
Dragon.
had any. Earth Dragon. Well, that one wasn't
What
evil.
about Slab?
Yeah,
Well, he
I was
turned
thinking
good.
about that one, but he was just scared, I guess. Captured.
Overlord Dragon?
Overlord Dragon.
Overlord Dragon, yeah.
Ooh, no.
He says that that's his original form, so I guess technically, I don't know. Some could say he's an Oni, but whatever.
I liked how they set up the Source Dragons, because they're like, oh, they never interfere with,
That's why I think
with,
it's going to be
mortal.
interesting if one of them is interfering. I don't know. Because
Yeah.
it does seem
I mean,
like
two of them, technically.
well, yeah, the one from last season seems to be in the ninja's corner, so I feel like that one's going to, like, at some point maybe break, like, Source Dragon code and, like, inform the ninja something that he shouldn't. I don't know. Because that one
Maybe.
seems like it's an active dragon, too, because, I mean, it did something to get captured. So, and we still haven't had that explained yet. I don't know. Let's talk theories,
Any
though.
predictions for the
Any other
tournament?
kind of predictions? Well, I mean, we know nothing about the tournament as of right now, but
True.
I don't know.
I'm really like. At first, I was kind of hesitant about the tournament because I mean we have seen tournaments in the Ninjago before, but then I started thinking about it. It's like I mean tournament like a tournament, a fighting tournament is something like it's like a very or popular stereotype, or not stereotype, but like just like in martial art films like that's a very common trend. So
I agree.
I was just thinking about these ninjas, dojos, just kind of makes sense to have like a tournament to face off. I'm really excited for the tournament. Now that I've thought about it, just kind of I've seen the show now. I'm excited for I'm excited for part 2. I think part 1. I was thinking like just watching it and like Ninjago found it way and the Variety article kind of goes into it like Ninjago found a way to feel fresh 13 years later. Like it's still
The world feels very
Yeah,
new
for
again.
sure.
Like it feels like there's still tons to explore. I love the kind of running thing of like Zane. Like no one has a real map of the new world. Like there's so much stuff that's unexplored, and so getting to go to different
Right.
places and finding new stuff out. Where was the Chima guys during all of this, by the way, during the Blood Moon ritual? They had to have like looked down and seen that something was happening. That's just a random thought.
it'll be cool though. Maybe if they can if they pop in the tournament, that'd be fun.
Well, that's if it's a tournament of the realms. We know nothing about this tournament, so
I
It could
like the
literally
idea of
be
it being a
anything.
tournament of realms,
I would love for it to be a tournament of the realms.
especially because of all the dojos or
Yeah.
of the dojos we've seen.
I mean,
the
like
worlds.
what I was telling you guys, like after the first rewatch, it would be really interesting if like the realm gates would open up like at every monastery and be like, you have been chosen for the tournament of the realms, which would explain why Imperium doesn't get to go because they destroyed their realm gate. It's been fixed and it's in the Land of Lost Things, which is technically part of Imperium. So
I also like the idea that maybe Lloyd can't compete in the tournament because he's the master, and that's where we see Master Lloyd, the design, come in, and then it has to be Aaron and Sora who compete in the tournament.
maybe.
Because I mean,
maybe.
Kai is.
I mean, we
Kai's
know
not-
that there's
is gone.
we know that there's a tournament Lloyd suit. So
True.
because it was on that window display. I don't know.
Yeah, true.
Interesting.
True.
Any other theories, comments, questions? Let's hear
like
the
the
let's hear the
party
tinfoil
toaster.
hat ones. The party toaster, that was cool. That was cool.
That was my
like the
favorite
callback to the
character.
party toaster. That
Yeah.
was
Oh,
a
yeah.
fun little joke.
No,
I hope they
Braden,
come back.
for a few years now, you've been talking about wanting to see magic, like more magic in Ninjago. We finally got a season that has a
Oh,
lot
yeah.
of magic in it, so I'm just curious how you're feeling about all that.
I love it, man. It's cool. It's I really want to see like more villains tap into it, and we did get to see that with Jordana, but it would be really cool. I'm a huge proponent of getting Klaus back in the mix. I think that'd be really cool to have him as a villain.
Yeah,
But
I mean,
but
he's
yeah, no,
ruling the
I thought it was
underworld.
cool to see
Last
a
we
little bit,
checked.
right? And the underworld's part of the 16 realms, so like, where you
Yeah.
at? But no, I really appreciated that this season. Thought it was cool. I hope we get to see more of it, especially now that the spell is in Jordan. I'm really interested to see how that actually plays out.
Yeah, we
See
don't
if
know
Jordana
what
gets
part
any
of the
sort of like
spell is
crazy
in there.
powers
Yeah.
from it or something.
Jordana
Right.
is now a
Maybe she
conduit
gets some cool
for.
powers.
It'd be really funny if Jordana is now a conduit for like 6 people, because there's the 4 forbidden 5, 4 out of 5 of the forbidden 5, and then Bonzel and Kai, they're all part in that spell. It'd be really funny if Jordana's just a conduit with them now. Same way
Yeah,
that
that'd
like
be
Roz
pretty
starts
cool.
Roz starts like floating in the air. Jordana starts floating in the air, and she goes to the mindscape, and it's just all 6 of them being like, "We really hate what's going on. We're not having a
Let
good
us out."
time. Let us out." Poor Jordana. She did not deserve this. She doesn't deserve anything.
Yeah. Oh well.
Real
That's what
talk.
she gets for running with the wrong crowd.
Yeah, that's what she gets for running in with the wrong crowd. But anyway, I think that kind of wraps most of our stuff. I think we should leave this on the note of everyone pointing out their biggest conspiracy. Like tinfoil hat, what's the craziest thing you can think of in relation to season 2?
We're gonna see Laval and Krager come back.
Interesting. How about you, Braden? What you got? What's crazy? What's cooking
I
in there?
think the administration is going to have a huge role in the next part. I hope.
They're gonna do the accounting for the Tournament of the Source. I see. You're gonna make sure all the
My
rings
thought
are
exactly.
rented and paid for.
Yep.
All right, Kyle, what do you got? What's your craziest conspiracy?
Gosh, there could be so many. I think that we're probably gonna see the ninja again.
I don't think so.
Dragons as well.
I think
Really?
we're done. Nope, they wasted. They got the wasting.
I don't know if I'd put money on it or anything, but maybe there will be like some new characters.
No, I
Maybe
think we're
Roz
done.
will come back.
Rosters
Kai
Derek.
dies.
in.
That's
Derek.
the big.
Derek.
It does.
Kai dies.
Yeah.
I think
Stays dead.
I think
Or
the
Kai.
next realm gate is inside of Laffy's bar, and it's just gonna go open for Dareth. You have been chosen for the Tournament of
Yes.
Source.
Oh my god! I would
Yes.
love Brown Ninja in the tournament.
They should just have Dareth show up. I think that would just give Dareth something to do. Give him something to do like he did with the last
Someone
time there
just
was
said
a
in the
tournament.
comments, Air Jitsu returns.
Air Jitsu returns. That's a crazy one,
Yeah.
but it could happen.
That would be
Honestly,
cool.
though, how long do we think Rising Dragon's gonna be a thing? Because it's the argument was always said that Air Jitsu was too powerful. Rising Dragon is way too powerful for them to just hold on to forever. So
Yeah.
how long do
They're
we
just
think they're gonna hold
magically
on to it?
forget.
They're gonna
They're
magically
just gonna
forget.
forget.
I mean, at least with Air Jitsu,
Magically
there was the
forget.
argument that it was like a cursed art form, and it would hurt them after a while. So, I don't know. A couple other
Maybe it's
conspiracy
too
theories.
hard, and they just
Um,
they're only going to use it when it's a do or die situation.
Maybe. There's been so many do or die situations they should have used Air Jitsu, and they just don't.
I mean, when they were falling in the pit and in the middle of the season, they probably should have used Brickjitzu.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they can't use it if they're not touching the ground.
Yeah, but they were
I
on the bounty.
You know, speaking of that,
He's
by the
kind
way, I just want to point this out. Sora is the elemental master of tech. She can, she can fix stuff, do stuff. When the bounty was falling, like she could have done something. I don't know what she could have
Yeah.
done.
She was too afraid, man. She was
Yeah,
too afraid.
that's kind of what I was thinking. But even then, like when they're on that ledge and they're like, someone's got to get to the climber mech, I was just thinking like you could just use your Chrono Steel mechs, or like Sora could use her tech powers and bring the the climber mech closer. Like there's a lot of solutions here, which is interesting. I don't know.
True.
But my final conspiracy, kind of curious how you guys feel about this one. I don't like this one, but I feel like it's something they could do. Is the idea that Wu and Garmadon are actually spells, like they're sentient spells created by the first Brickjitzu master. And that would just explain how Wu Ghost is a thing and how like he's the spirit orb, because it matches kind of to what Bonzel is whenever she's in spirit form.
It
So
would break the show. Like
It
if
would-
it
would.
would take some really big balls. To
that's
do
what I'm
that.
saying. Like I
It
don't
would
like
break the
it,
show.
but they could do
I
it.
hope
Like
it
it's
didn't
an option. It's an option that they could do it.
I would
Um,
get so mad and just not
I don't
finish the season.
think I would
if that
be
was-
super mad, because you could always say like, yeah, he used dragon magic and he used Oni magic or whatever, like he made it happen, and like that would explain why, like, there's what is it, the Diary of Wu's journal, something like that from a few years back. Like Wu was even went on record and said like, I don't know who my mom is. Like it could explain why he doesn't have a mom. It could explain why they age so slow. Though I think that there's a different explanation for why they age so slow, and it's because of the Oni and Dragon blood, and also their sibling bond. But that's going to be a video for another day, so I'll let you guys theorize on that for a little while. But I don't like the theory, but I think they could do that if they wanted to. So predictions.
I like the theory that Lloyd
Yeah.
and Rumi get together.
Well, that's definitely a theory. Got a couple people in the comments. Some people like that theory of the Wu Garmadon spell. Some people do not like it. Look, man, I don't like it either. I'm not a fan. But I do feel like I need to throw that one out there, throw it into the ring. But before we go, let's get some predictions for the back half of season 2. Let's kind of just toss them out, couple of sentences each. Ace, what are you thinking?
I don't know. Give me more time to think.
All right, you get no more time. Braden, what are you thinking?
Climber mech will be destroyed.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. Kyle, what you thinking?
Gosh, man, predictions. There's probably gonna be more Rising Dragon done by the other ninja.
Yeah,
They're
no, I
gonna-
feel like they'll
they're gonna
probably
all
have.
do it.
Yeah, we'll probably open with like Cole and Zane having learned it. I think that's probably how
Oh,
we'll
wait.
open.
I have a better question. Will we get Lloyd's elemental mech from the sets?
Ooh. You know what would be
No.
funny is if we go back to the administration and it's there and he steals it from there too. Like just every time that
Yeah,
Lloyd
yeah.
gets a mech in Dragon's Rising, he's just stealing it from the administration. I like that. I think that's really funny.
I thought
don't
it was
think-
funny they brought back the design, or they brought like 3 of the Lloyd mech, the Titan mech from last year.
Yeah, that was so
That's
cool.
just
Yeah.
that's
I love that.
that's not
Or- oh, no,
that
that
wasn't
was-
just
yeah,
one
sorry.
of one.
Yeah.
That was just like a mech they use whenever.
I find it
whenever they-
funny that it already has their like Lloyd's logo on it. That's pretty funny.
Yeah, same.
But yeah, no, my final prediction. I think we'll get Garmadon in the back half. I'm just gonna go out on a limb and be
Fingers
crazy.
crossed.
I think I don't know, because they had the new soundtrack piece for Garmadon when Wu was at the Dragonstone Shrine. So I don't know. That's my crazy theory.
Yes.
But that is where we're going to leave you guys tonight. Thank you so much for joining another Masters of Brickjitzu live stream. We have really enjoyed talking about Dragon's Rising Season 2 Part 1, and we'll be back to talk about Dragon's Rising Season 2 Part 2. And just expect a
Absolutely.
couple more videos on Dragon's Rising over the next couple of weeks. And just we're excited for what comes next. You guys have anything else to say? I'm gonna
Super
take
excited
that as a
for
no. All
Keep
right.
on collecting.
Watch Masters of Brickjitzu Friday.
Yes, Masters of Brickjitzu Fridays. But we will see you guys next week. Same bat time, same bat channel, where we will be doing another live stream. So everyone, take care and have a great evening.